This bride hates her kids, cheated with a cop, and now has an insane list of demands for her wedding. I said no, and she lost her mind. Plus 4 updates. Okay, so this girl I know from high school is getting married. We're both 22, for reference. In our senior year of high school, she got pregnant with a guy we'll call Adam. Her super conservative parents kicked her out, and she ended up moving in with a friend's family. She barely graduated, and the only reason she did was because of the generosity of our teachers and students who volunteered to help her, which is how we met. We were in the same law class, and she had the worst morning sickness, so I took extra notes for her and brought her stuff. I wasn't the only one who helped her, and I know she appreciated it. She had the baby a month after we graduated. She signed up for a 911 dispatcher course because it's a good, steady job where we live. But the course was too intensive, so she had to drop out and started working at a grocery store bakery. Meanwhile, Adam started an apprenticeship and proposed to her on her 18th birthday, saying it was the right thing to do. But she always refused. After a while, when we were all about 19, she started cheating on him. Eventually, she left him for another guy, who we'll call Brad, because she was pregnant again, and it was far more likely that Brad was the father. They couldn't afford lawyers for a custody agreement, so their parents got involved, and they did a 50-50 split. She had the baby, and it did turn out to be Brad's. Everything was okay for about 9 months, until she found out Brad had been cheating on her with his teaching assistant. Brad decided to just pay child support and only wanted contact with the kid around holidays. So now we're all 20, and she moves back in with her parents, who only accept her back because of the grandchildren. On the plus side, when she was 21, she finally got to take that dispatcher course and passed with flying colors. After working as a dispatcher for a year, now at age 22, she meets a police officer we'll call Chad. He's 26, married, and also happens to be Adam's distant cousin. She has an affair with him, gets pregnant for a 3rd time, and his wife divorces him. Then, Chad proposes because it's the right thing to do, and she accepts. Her parents kick her out again for her behavior, so she moves in with Chad along with her 2 kids. They've started planning the wedding, which, given the background, is a complete dumpster fire. Adam is absolutely livid. He was desperately in love with this girl and is still recovering from what she did. And now, she's accepted a proposal from his cousin for the exact same reason she rejected his. Adam has basically called for loyalty in the family, dividing everyone over who should go to the wedding or give them money. On top of that, her parents have said they're not going, half her family is boycotting, and her younger sister has been actively sabotaging whatever plans they do make. And then she asked me to be a bridesmaid. I said I couldn't because I live in a different province now, but the truth is, I do not want to be involved in that mess in any way. I'm just watching it all unfold on social media because it's the most entertaining thing I've seen all year. It's weird to me that she even asked because we're not friends. We were never friends. I just helped her in one class because she needed it. I was just being nice. But seeing how she turned out, I just feel sad for her. 3 kids in 4 years, and she's alienated so many people because of her actions. I'm torn between feeling sorry for her and just putting my head in my hands. Update. First off, all of your comments are hilarious. Second, I'm going to answer some common questions. We're from a pretty large city. She just comes from a neighborhood that's either super religious or white trash, with no in-between. Our high school had a great sex education course, with free condoms and resources for birth control, but I don't know if she never tried it or if it just didn't work for her. She started alienating her friends after the affair with Chad came out. People weren't exactly jumping for joy that she'd broken up a marriage. Chad and his ex didn't have any kids, thankfully. But when people weren't immediately ecstatic for her, she started getting snippy and rude, calling people out on social media for not supporting her. To be honest, I'm really worried about her health because having so many babies so close together isn't good for her, mentally or physically. People are also worried Chad will cheat on her. You know the saying, if he'll cheat with you, he'll cheat on you. For the sake of clarity, let's call this girl bait. And for everyone saying Chad is also at fault for his marriage breaking up, believe me, I'm well aware. It's his ex-wife and her family who solely blame bait. Chad is also older and has more life experience, so I do think he could be taking advantage of her. However, she's an adult who makes her own choices. And for anyone upset that I'm posting this, claiming I'm humiliating her, she has been posting about this mess on every social media platform she has. She put this out there long before I did, in front of friends, family, and coworkers. I should also mention just how disastrous the wedding planning has been. They've had to rebook 3 times because venues kept canceling due to rising infection numbers. Bait has been flipping between wanting the wedding while she's pregnant, saying she's proud of her bump, and wanting to wait until after because she feels fat. She is currently 7 months pregnant. Her great-aunt was going to give her her own wedding dress, but Bait's mom freaked out and stole the dress before Bait could get it. Chad's immediate family is paying for the wedding and has been cut off by their extended family for choosing his side. Her wedding colors are pink and green, and the specific shades do not go together at all. She made a 14-minute video talking about these colors while both of her kids were bawling in the background, and she completely ignored them. She got some flack for that. Adam has now hired a lawyer and is trying to get primary custody of their daughter. On top of all this, she's planning a Zoom baby shower and bachelorette party with a registry full of crazy expensive things. She also set up a GoFundMe to pay for a honeymoon, asking for $20,000, and is complaining that no one loves her because it only has about $1,200. Update. Hey everyone, so some stuff has gone down. From my last update until December 16th, it was just lots of ranting and chaotic wedding planning on social media. She found a dress and decided to get married while pregnant. On December 16th, her little sister unblocked her just to call her a slut and say her wedding plans were stupid. This started a petty and entertaining Facebook war until the sister blocked her again the next day. On December 18th, Bait went nuts on social media, claiming Adam had kidnapped their daughter. What really happened is that Adam had reason to believe their daughter wasn't safe with Bait, so he just didn't give her back. They don't have an official custody agreement, and when Bait called the cops, they couldn't do anything. There were dozens of videos on her social media of her ignoring their daughter, yelling at her for crying, and just being a toddler. It turns out Adam was buying everything she needed: food, diapers, clothes, daycare, on top of the $500 a month in child support he was paying. Bait refused to buy anything for their daughter, insisting it was his responsibility. Baby A's pediatrician has never even met Bait. The cops and a social worker they called said there was nothing she could do until they got to court. The social worker suggested therapy and parenting classes, but Bait refused and went on a huge rant on Facebook about how she doesn't need them. From December 19th to the 24th, it was just more ranting online. Also, both she and Chad are now under investigation at work, but she has no idea why. I should remind everyone that almost all of this information is coming from her public social media pages. On Christmas Day, I became officially embarrassed to know this woman. She put on a beautiful blue maternity dress, got Chad in his police uniform, and live-streamed them going to the courthouse to get married. According to her, she wanted their wedding anniversary to eclipse Christmas for her children because it's so much more special. But here's the thing, the courthouse wasn't open. It was Christmas. She had a full meltdown. When her baby started crying because her mom was screaming, Bait called her a horrible name. I am so done with her. On December 28th, I ran into her at a vaccine clinic. She didn't recognize me at first. We talked a bit, and she started ranting about her life. I was just going to wait until my time was up and leave, but when she started talking badly about her kids, something inside me snapped. I just said, "Do you even like your kids? Do you like being a mom?" She got quiet for a second and then said no. Her whole demeanor changed, and we just sat in silence after that. Today, December 31st, I looked at her feed, and it was a shocking moment. She's thinking about giving up her kids. She posted about how she was recently asked if she liked her kids or being a mom, and how she realized she didn't. She hates her children, blames them for ruining her life, and doesn't want to be a mom anymore. Nothing is official yet, but what the hell? Update. Some stuff has happened. On January 4th, Bait and Chad stopped posting on all social media. I was actually a little worried. It was so weird that some people considered calling for a wellness check until Chad posted that they were fine but busy. On January 12th, she messaged me on Facebook asking me to be her maid of honor. She was going on about a resort in Cancun where they wanted to have their wedding this coming February, during a major surge in the virus. No one should be traveling. She also found out that Chad was cheating on her with one of her coworkers. She called the woman a homewrecker on Facebook and tagged her, posting the texts she found. But she said Chad is the love of her life, so she's forgiven him, but not the other woman. Very hypocritical. She sent me pictures of possible bridesmaid dresses, and they were the most hideous things I've ever seen. One looked like a partially deflated balloon with feathers on it. She also openly admitted that she expected everyone attending to pay $3,000. $2,000 would go towards the guest's stay, and $1,000 would go to her and Chad, so they could get their room for free. She wanted the money given directly to her so people wouldn't find out. Her dream wedding dress is basically a clubbing dress, but she wants all the guests in black tie. And she sent a list of unreasonable requests. Things like, all women must wear heels on the beach. No one is allowed to have a baby or be pregnant. Girls must have long hair, boys must have very short hair. No one is allowed to be skinnier than her, and she will be providing diets for everyone. No tattoos, even though she has 5 that would be visible in her dress. And no one is allowed to talk to her directly, they have to speak through the maid of honor. Honestly, there were a lot more, but she posted the list online and people are already calling her a bridezilla. I was weirded out since we haven't spoken since high school besides that one conversation. So I respectfully declined, saying the virus and school were my priorities. Then I checked her socials. Everything was back to normal, except her kids were nowhere to be found. No pictures, no kids crying in the background of her videos. Nothing. It looks like she had given birth to her 3rd child. When she tried to guilt me into being her maid of honor, I asked her where her kids were. She responded, "Oh, I left them at the side of the road, lol." I told her to be serious, and she said she was just joking. Honey, you made a joke about child abandonment, you're not being serious enough. Then I got the real update on the kids. Baby A is still with Adam, and Bate signed away her rights. Baby B and Baby C have been given to a mutual cousin of Adam and Chad who is infertile. The baby's grandparents are happy and will have access to them, so that's good. Because of the pandemic, none of this is official in court yet, but the paperwork is signed. When I rejoined our conversation, Bate said, "Wait, did you actually think I would just leave my kids at the side of the road? I just didn't want to be a mom, but I wasn't a bad one." I told her, "Bate, I think you've been through a lot of trauma, and you should speak to a professional." Of course she was a bad mom, but she needs help, and I wanted her to get it. She replied, "What, you think I'm crazy?" I said, "No, I think getting kicked out as a teen and having your family reject you must have been very painful. I just want you to take care of yourself." Then she lost it. "What I want is for you to go straight to hell." She called me every curse word she could think of, including a derogatory word about my ethnicity. My blood was boiling. So, I'm now on her hit list. She's been blowing up my social media all day, and on her last post, she said she still expects a good wedding gift from me. Yeah, no, I've blocked her on everything. This will be my last update. Final update. Hi, everyone. I didn't think I would be making another update, but here I am. I saw that a YouTuber did a whole video about this post, and I got so nervous that Bate was going to see it. It turns out, she has seen it, and she does not give a single damn. She also doesn't know who posted it. I am still no contact with her, but mutual friends have told me what's happened. First, she and Chad did get married, but they eloped. According to all sources, they are completely and utterly miserable. Chad is a lazy and unfaithful husband. Bate has gotten really into feminism, with a focus on reproductive issues, especially after Roe v. Wade was overturned. It turns out Chad thinks abortion is murder, and that women were created to make babies. Bate tried to argue with him, using herself as an example of why not all women should be mothers. Chad then used her as an example of why women should be forced to have kids, because in the end, she gave children to an infertile couple. She didn't take that well, and said her entire life was destroyed the second she got pregnant. Chad has since made a Tinder account. Bate knows, but she doesn't seem to care. With her family, her sister came out as gay and has been cut off from their parents. She and Bate are not on good terms, but they have acknowledged that their parents messed them up. Neither Bate nor Chad have custody or visitation of their children, which Chad is starting to regret now that he's getting more into religion. He talked to Bate about getting their third child back, but she shut that down hard and warned the cousin who adopted the baby. On a positive note, Bate started going to therapy after she and Chad got married, which makes me very happy for her. There was a rumor that Chad has a mistress, and it's true. He's cheating on her with a paramedic, and Bate is fully aware. I don't know if she plans to do anything about it, but I hope she leaves his ass. Now, as for how she doesn't know it was me who posted this. I found out she actually asked around 15 different girls to be her maid of honor without telling any of us about the others. She was trying to get money from all of us because her mental health was so bad and she needed help. Of those 15, 8 of us were going to school out of province and had similar classes in high school. She apparently doesn't remember our conversation at the clinic and had a major blow up with everyone she asked. So she knows it's one of 8 people and reportedly has no interest in figuring out who. So, in short, Bate and Chad eloped, are miserable, and have zero custody of their children. Chad's cheating and Bate is now a feminist. Bate's sister is gay and they've talked. And Bate asked way too many girls to be her maid of honor, so she doesn't know who I am. Dear Bate, if you're seeing this, leave Chad. He's trash. And though I'm not willing to talk to you again, I do wish for you to have a wonderful and happy life.